ourselves to the stage here. There we go. There we go. Dum dum dum. I don't know if they can see us on Instagram or not. I think they can. How we doing, guys? How we doing? What the heck? Hello, hello. Back. That's not good. Anyway, getting a little bit of weird feedback there. Yeah, give me 1 second here. Yeah, it is. All right, if you're following on Instagram, we're gonna have to ask you to go over to YouTube where we're streaming. That sucks. That sucks. Yeah, I'm not catching that feedback anymore. So that was Instagram doing that. That really sucks. Oh well. Let's get right into it. We already have a couple callers. So some people are hot to trot. Hi guys, this is Hack Nation Live. I'm your host, Aaron Bennett. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. I'm trying to remove Instagram from here. It was messing us up really bad. So, anyhow, let's go ahead and go to callers. I'm sure the phone line, since we have callers, why not? Anthony, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man.
How you doing?
What can I do for you?
I got an IXS Cummins motor, 2016 Freightliner, and lately what it's been doing, it's been doing it for a while. I be on, and all of a sudden it starts shaking side to side like it want to cut off.
Okay,
You get the shakes at it, and then I hit the gas a little bit and I come back, but then I cut it off, turn it back on, it won't do it.
Okay. I mean, I highly doubt that's engine related. And what do you mean? You turn the key off and turn it back on?
Yes, sir. But I can just be idling with my air conditioner on, and I can be idle for 10 hours. And then all of a sudden, sometimes, and I only do it sometimes. I don't do it all the time. I'm the one talking to you. I had that head put in and everything a few months ago. The head and everything is working fine. It's just this shake, it's been there for a while.
So let me kind of narrow it down a little bit. So you can just be sitting there at an idle and all of a sudden the whole truck will start shaking?
Yeah, it starts shaking like it want to cut off.
Okay, so and then you can turn it off and turn it back on. It'll go away every time?
Yes. Well, I've been doing it lately, so I'm trying to get it fixed. I took it to a few people, and they don't know what it is.
Okay. Has anybody done anything like the internal wiring harness?
Well, when they put the head in, I guess they did move a few wires or something.
Well, you guess they did or they did?
But I just had to sit. Well, they did. They had to do something. I had a couple of sensors put in here.
Well, no, they actually didn't have to do something. They could just reuse the old one, which is common practice. but this is a 60 series Detroit.
No, it's a Cummins IXS 2016 Freightliner.
Oh, okay. That kind of changes it quite a bit. So, hmm.
You don't think it's that thing up on the firewall, up by the, when you open the hood, up there by the stand wall? I remember I replaced that a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's a unique problem because you could turn it off and turn it back on. The problem goes away. You're not throwing any check engine lights. I find that hard to believe that you wouldn't be throwing any check engine lights.
Well, I got a check engine light on now, but I think that I need a sensor. The STN 693 FMI-6.
And this is a 2016 single cam ISX.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's running good. I'm going down the road right now. It's running good. You know, just to do that, you know. I won't do it all the time, you know. I had new DEF filters and everything that's put in it, so.
I almost guarantee you when it's doing that to you that it's trying to tell you what's going on, but you already have a check engine light, so there's really no way that you're going to know.
Right.
You need to get it to a computer, first of all, and have somebody look through it and see what codes are getting logged. And you'll probably be able to chase it down really quickly like that. I don't understand how you've taken it places and you don't have any clue.
Well, they put it on a computer, and they told they told me it was just that knock sensor I needed. I said, well, I understand that, but you know, I paid them to diagnose it, and they still couldn't find out the problem. So,
well, have you fixed the knock sensor problem?
No, I ain't fixed that because I've been fixing other stuff in it. I'm gonna fix that when I get home in a couple of days. You know.
I'm not sure if a knock sensor could cause that problem, but I know it could on a car cause problems like that, but I don't feel like that problem would come and go like that from a knock sensor. Our big Glenn says, find a better shop, and you know, kind of because I had a hard time.
Well, that's what I was saying. I took it a Freightliner, and they charged me $1,000, and they couldn't find nothing.
I don't know. The problem is it could be so many things. Like everyone in the comment sections is saying over and over again, harness, which I tend to agree with to an extent. You know, loose ground wires from the fuel pump. I had the same symptoms. On and on and on. Problems like this, there's going to be a million people that have had similar problems that all had a different fix. I think that K2 Diesel is probably on the right track by saying Insight would go a long way. And what he means by that is you can go to Cummins Insight, find the problem that you're having, and it's going to have a troubleshooting tree of why the possible things that could cause that to happen. And it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it, saves you a lot of money. Now you have access to that personally. Go find Cummins Insight on your phone, put in all your information, your truck information. You have the same access that any other shop would have.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll try that.
Right. Another guy's saying I have the same problem. It was an injector. So that's kind of the problem here is there's going to be 13 different people saying different things, and I'm going to say something different than all of them. none of this is going to help you. Get Insight, go through their troubleshoot. Quick Serve. Sorry. Is it Quick Serve? Yeah, go to Quick Serve. And you can make your own account. You can do up, I think, the 3 or 5 trucks before they make you pay for it. So
Okay.
start there, brother, for sure.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. I appreciate your help.
Yep. Have a good night, man.
You too.
I just had Kale Hit call me right before the show. Boy, he's got a doozy of a problem going on. Is it Insight or is it Quick Serve? I can't remember which one everybody has access to. I think it's Quick Serve. Kind of gives you all the answers. Had 1.1 million miles on a 60 series. Your channel makes me want to do an in-frame. Is it still a 4-month wait? We're no longer doing that business model. Man, we can certainly insert you on your build. We'll get you all the parts you need to do it, including our upgraded parts. But if you wanted to do an engine with us, we would just hand you a Block Plus and you take your stuff off. It's much faster and everything is brand new. For a truck with 1.1 million miles on it, you're probably going to be more money into that than doing one of our drop-ins. But either way, we would support you on it. Just give us a call. Everybody's saying it's Quick Serve. Insight's what we have on our computer. So anybody has access to Quick Serve. Quick Serve is awesome. Insight is the software. Quick Serve is the website. I got you. Can you build a 3204 cat? We can build anything, brother. I got a 3208 getting picked up tomorrow from Maryland to get brought here. So obviously we can kind of handle anything. Back to the callers here. Justin, James, what can we do for you, brother?
Well, I've been fighting this problem for about 2 months. I lost the water pump and I started getting a bunch of carbon. It ended up being the air compressor was the problem. I actually talked to Lucas the other day, but he told me he thought it might be the head. But I went back and looked at the injector cups and the O-rings are perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. But ever since we put injector cups in it, this thing will not pull. I mean, it is plumb pitiful. It's got a 600 horse cat tune in it. I put a brand new full tilt turbo on it, 78-132, and I have changed every sensor on the truck except for the throttle position. And I have not changed injectors. Other than that, I have changed everything on this motor. But it will not pull.
Okay, let's back up just a little bit. Why do we change the injector cups in the first place?
Well, we were getting a bunch of carbon in the fuel, and that was the only thing that we could think of that it might be coming from, which that was wrong. So it was not the cups. It was the air compressor.
Oh, it's the air compressor. Okay. How are you getting carbon in the fuel from the air compressor? I'd like to understand that one.
Well, it must have been just dirty fuel. It was just a bad reading. You know what? It was just a bad diagnosis. It didn't. That wasn't the problem. But ever since we've done the injector cups, put it back together, I did have to put a new air to air on it because mine was cracked. I put a new air to air and then that turbo, and then ever since then, I mean, I'm telling you, this thing will not pull. It is plumb pitiful.
So we can chase the correct problem. I'm going to rule out the injector cups as being the reason you're having a power problem because it's just the nature of what injector cups do. If you're having an injector problem, it doesn't show up as a power loss. There's obvious problems that show up, but that's not one of them. What kind of boost does it build?
It shows, sometimes it shows 28, sometimes it'll show 30, but with that turbo and tune, it should be pushing like 37 or 38.
Yeah, it's derated.
What?
So yeah. What was it have?
Yeah, 6TS.
Okay, so what 600 horsepower tune did you guys put on it? The 5DS?
I think he said it was a full cat, whatever his cat tune is.
Mm-hmm. So have we thought about going back and putting a 550 6TS tune on it and seeing if the problem goes away?
Well, I have put 3 different ECMs on it, and it will not. I even put one that had an 850 horse tune on it, and it still won't do anything.
Okay. So, well, first of all, I'd get that tune out of there. Totally unrelated to the problems that you're having. The only 600 horsepower tune out there it will tear that engine up. It's not worth it. It's not worth that 50 horsepower. And we can all argue all we want, but that's what we've seen. Long story short, we either have a bad injector. It's you kind of see signs of that, but it doesn't sound like your problem. But it certainly could be. Need to determine for sure you don't have a bad injector. Have you done an injector cutout test on it?
Yeah, about 3 of them. So, and then yesterday or Sunday, I was changing the fuel filter and I dumped it out into a jar, and it had oil in it. So I put 2 different sets of injector O-rings on it because when it wouldn't pull, we took everything back apart, checked it, and then rerun the overhead. So I put new O-rings again. So I put a fuel pump on it Monday because I'm assuming that the fuel pump went bad, pumping oil into the fuel.
Not likely.
But that just started.
So all these injector tests come back with it, and they all say okay. And when you do the 4-hole cutout test,
yep.
Okay.
Yep. The only thing I haven't done was the actual 5-cylinder cutout test.
Well, there isn't one. There's a 4-hole and a 1-hole.
Oh, okay. That's bad information. But
so you haven't done the 4-hole cutout test?
Yes, we have done. We've done that.
Okay, and then you came back and you looked at the screen and it said okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That was the first thing I'd done, hoping it would be an injector.
Sure. So rule the injectors out, rule the cups out.
Okay.
What we want to do is stop throwing money at this, right?
Yes.
No, that's not how we. That's not how we fix problems. Building the amount of boost that you're building screams 2 things: either it's derated, or you have a boost leak and you haven't found it. That turbo and fueling combination, you should hit around 42 pounds of boost.
Okay.
For some reason, it's derated. Is my guess. Does it sound fun?
Yeah. But
define what doesn't sound good.
It's really like quiet. It's just the truck is quiet. It don't have the high pitch.
Okay.
Like the turbo squeal.
Okay.
What I
mean is by sound good is it's popping and a coughing and a carrying on.
Oh no, we don't have that. The truck is just really, really quiet now.
Right, because it's not spooling up and screaming.
Yep.
Does it blow black smoke?
But it is. Nope. No, it's just barely a haze of smoke.
You're not getting air, or you're derated, and it's not allowing it to fuel hard enough for it to spool the turbo up. One of the 2. It's your air-to-air system somewhere is leaking, or you're derated, and I'm going to lean way more towards derated. Now, if we had a fuel pressure problem, like a lot of people are suggesting, they just won't run good because you're not getting enough fuel. And this thing sounds like it's running fine. When you have a derate going on, it's like having a limp weenie when it's go time. Everything's there and everything's working fine. It's just not performing. right?
Well, that's what it's like. Like after half a pedal, there's nothing left.
Yeah, it's derated. That's not a boost leak. That's
Yeah.
derated.
Well, where in the world? I've even put a new injector harness in it, just hoping
First thing you need to do
that would be it.
First thing you need to do is put a 60S 550 tune back on it, so you eliminate all those
Okay.
variables.
All right.
And figure out why it's derated. It's derated somewhere. It should tell you.
Yeah.
Fucking Glenn, every time find a better shop. Again, I mean, I'd hate to be a dick, and I don't want this show to turn into that, but kind of. I mean, if we're throwing all kinds of money at it, I can't sit here and look everybody in the eye and say I've never thrown money at somebody's truck trying to chase down a problem like this, right? But you shouldn't have to. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound like we've done a lot.
Oh, I know.
It doesn't sound like we've done a lot of diligence here. We're changing injector cups and all kinds of silly things. This thing's definitely derated, and you just have to figure out why. The barometric pressure sensor can do it. The boost pressure sensor can do it. The intake air temp sensor can do it. Your coolant temp sensor can do it, believe it or not, and not throw a code.
Yeah. Well, so the truck ran fine before I went in the shop. The truck ran fine, but we did find that my air intake sensor was reading minus 40 degrees. So we did put a new one of them in, and then I changed the bariatric pressure sensor. Like I said, I've changed every sensor on the truck besides the throttle position and the fuel temp sensor.
What we see sometimes, and actually, let me take that back. You know what we've done before? Because a lot of those sensors, your intake air temp sensor, your coolant sensor, a lot of these sensors are the same sensor, and they get swapped.
Yeah.
They get swapped. Your oil.
Well, I even put my old boost sensor back on.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
But you're derated. Why? I can't tell you from here, but I can tell you to stop throwing money at everything else.
Yeah. I just don't understand how you go in fine, like running fine. You pull cups, pull injectors, and put everything back the way it is, and then it won't run. It wouldn't run again after the shot, after you pull it out of the door.
Hell of a lot of wires got moved when they did that. And them old ass 40-pin ECMs with their old ass harnesses don't like being moved around.
Yeah.
Might be a harness issue for sure. Those harnesses are not that expensive.
All right.
Even for the one that goes from ECM to engine, really not that expensive for that old engine.
Okay. So it's somewhere in that wiring.
I mean, yeah, I would guess.
Yeah. Because I even put fuel lines on it. The only thing I didn't put was return lines. I thought I might have had a collapsed fuel line on or something. But
brother, this isn't. I mean, obviously, I can be wrong, and it could be a fueling issue. But what you're describing is not a fueling issue. It's just not.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, brother. Good luck with that one.
Well, I'll go back through the wires. Thank you.
Yep. Bye. Guy on TikTok comments said, I worked for that $1,000 for wasted time shop. I mean, nobody's going to know what you're talking about, but you and me. But what a goofy deal. What a goofy deal. Yeah, we're working with one of our customers on a engine we had to do some extracurricular stuff for, and the shop there hates us in advance. They even just give him so much grief that he used one of our engines and this and that, and they have all these weird charges on there, and one of the charges is $1,000 for wasted time. Like, the fuck even is that? And just to keep our customer from just to keep our customer from getting fucked by them, we sent him the $1,000 and said, just fucking pay him. Because our customer was going to have to pay that $1,000 for wasted time. I mean, of course, we could have just said, I mean, that has nothing to do with us, but the fucking shit we do to keep owner operators from getting hurt by other shops, it just blows my fucking mind. I got good kids. That's what I got. Back to the callers. You're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, what's going on, man? My name is Keontae. I'm out of Baltimore. So I have two questions. One is in regards to engine, and second is for the rear ends. I have a 1992 379 flat top. It came with a M14 Cummins Select Plus, but the engine is a 2001. So I decided to get rid of the engine and put a 12.7 Detroit 98 with DTEC 4. I wanted to know, in your opinion, do you think that's the best move? Because I'm an advocate for paper logs. I think it's overregulated now. Like, it's stupid. You could be 20 minutes out from your delivery, you know, and mess up your entire week. So I wanted to know first, do you think that was a good move?
So let's address the paper log thing first. First of all, I've never ran paper logs because I only ever ran oil field, right? Or within 200 miles or whatever the hell it is, it makes you exempt. So
Yeah, sure, I'll exempt.
I've always got away with either time cards or paper logs, no matter what truck I had. But I interact with thousands of drivers a year that run ELDs, and it's rare, if ever, to find a guy that's actively using them that really actually thinks they're a big deal. In fact,
Okay.
a lot of guys will say they get more driving out of running ELD than running paper logs.
Interesting topic. I mean, I think the ELD sometimes between deliveries and sitting in docks, it forces you to run when you're tired sometimes.
Well, sure, but I'm just saying. I mean, obviously, you got to imagine. I meet hundreds of drivers a year, and ELDs is always a hot topic. And 99% of people I meet that are actively running them have no problem with it. They just don't. So it can't be that bad.
I guess so, man. I guess. Hey, but with the
answer
conversion,
but the answer to your other question is there's no fucking way in hell I would trade it in 14 red top for a pre 99 60 series Detroit. No way in hell.
Okay, and what's your reason then? Between the fuel,
because that fucking N14
Grand Period. I see him. They just rebuild it, like we were talking about. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna really comment out loud on that, other than to say, I mean, he's got a point.
Yeah. Well, I was also looking at the fuel mileage difference, and I guess the M14.
There's not a meaningful difference between those two.
Not significant in the sense of worth. Okay. All right. Next question is for my rear ends. I'm running 370 currently. I want to go to 336, but I'll only be pulling along. I guess I'll have to pull mountains on the outbound and inbound, so beginning and ending in the week. But besides that, I'll be running the flat. So you think it's worth swapping? And for fuel mileage, I guess because the 370 will help me at the beginning and the end of the week, but for a majority of the week, I'll be cruising. Do you think the fuel mileage difference is worth the swap?
Yeah, what tire size you running?
11R. It's 22.5. I guess low profile. I guess something. I don't know. It's a low profile. It's standard 22.5.
Yeah. Grizzly has a good point. If you want to say fuel, slow down a little bit.
Yeah, well, speed limit out there is 70. I'm running 68, 65. Come on, how much more slower do you want me to go?
I don't know. I know that that diesel fuel is a huge deal, right? And a guy that's not concerned about it and trying to conserve it and get the most he can per mile. The fuel mileage that you're getting down to is decide whether you're even going to be in business or not. You need to find for freight.
Yeah, it's not about the business. I mean, speed officer. I want to keep a little more money in my pocket at the end of the day.
Right. I think
But
the
it's not
the reason I asked you on the tire size is keep the rear end you have and go to a 24.5 talls,
okay. 24. I seen that.
right?
24.5.
I
Yes,
ran
sir.
24.5
sense.
talls on everything I ever owned anyway, because god damn, it puts so much more rubber between you and the road, and it's such a smoother ride. And man, I can't imagine riding around on anything else.
Okay.
That would be cheaper than changing your diffs. I know that, and you'd end up with brand new rubber.
Four, five.
Here though, so have a good night and good luck with that thing.
Sure.
So have a good night and good luck with that thing. Oh, we caught the feedback from that one. Guys, I've seen all your questions in the comment sections. I'd love to get to them, but man, we have a lot of callers. It says a call-in show. Next week, I'll be streaming this from Maryland, and we will not be taking calls. So we'll just be in the comment section, and then we'll be back on Facebook. So hooray for that, at least. So anyhow, I'm gonna be in Maryland next Wednesday. So what RPM do the N14s like? They like a little higher. You can lug them a little bit, but they really do like to be up higher, 1800, stuff like that. You get a lot more performance out of them up there. They don't really like to run like a cat. So, Chris, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, been working with Jake at Grand Prairie. I've got an 03 dual cam ISX CM870. Having problems with EGTs and water temperature. I've replaced the 3-row radiator with a brand new 4-row, a new Cummins water pump, new Cummins thermostat and seal. While I had it up at Jake's, he felt like that we had an exhaust restriction. And on the Kenworth W900s, how it comes underneath the cab, goes back and does a U-turn and comes back to the Y pipe. We took all that out. We bailed the pipe up behind the turbo from 4-inch to 5-inch. I just have a short piece of 4-inch. The EGTs are down. I come across I-70 today in Colorado. I spent more time at 850 than I did at 950 or 1,000 on EGTs, but my water temperature is getting up to 225 degrees. I'm grossing 80,000 pounds full in the tank. I'm at a loss. I've just thrown money after money after money to this thing, and I'm not gaining anything.
225 degrees, and then the fan comes on, and what happens?
So the fan comes on at 210, and it just keeps climbing. I have to roll out of the throttle to help control the water. And then when I'm doing that, the EGTs are coming down into that 850 mark. I'm down to 20 mile an hour in fifth gear trying to get up the mountain.
I have changed the rear end gears in this truck. I bought gears from your boys. I took the 370s out and put 336s. I'm running 22 tall rubber on it, 18 speed.
Are you having to add coolant to it?
No, I'm not pushing any coolant. I don't have to put any water in it. I don't have coolant in the oil. No.
I mean, what you're describing is what you're describing.
This truck is deleted. This truck is deleted. I'm sorry to interrupt, but this truck is deleted. I do not know what the original tune was. We put a Cummins 575 tune in it after I changed the rear end gears, trying to increase the fuel mileage because I was down like been as low as 3.7, but I finally got it up to about 4.8. And we tried a different tune. It has a 605 tune in it now. It runs great. I can accelerate going up the mountain if I wanted to, but my water and my EGTs just get crazy.
Right. I mean, in the comment section is going crazy, wanting to know what your oil temperature is on that thing.
I don't have an oil temperature gauge, but I have taken an infrared gun. When it gets up hot, pull over as quick as I can, flip the hood back. I shoot the head from the front to back. It's within 10 degrees front to back. The oil pan with the infrared gun is anywhere from 200 to 220. At the thermostat housing, it's usually right around 190.
Mm-hmm. Well, so
and that's when the gauge is reading 210.
Here's the thing. So what you're describing screams that cylinder heads bad, liners are dropped, something stupid like that. But here's the problem with that. I mean, those are things that keep you from being able to keep your coolant under control. But you have things that don't match up with that, which is you're not having to add any coolant, and you have these weird pyrometer temperatures, intake air temperatures, coupled with that. So, I mean, this thing narrows down really quick to a tune problem. This thing has a really bad tune on it.
And I bought this truck in August of last year. I didn't start driving it until January with the original tune, and it was cold outside. I felt like the water was warming up quicker than it should have, but it wasn't exceeding 210. It seems like as it's gotten hotter outside with the different tunes that it just shows itself more.
Right.
It doesn't seem. We've had three different tunes in it. I don't know. Do I have three bad tunes?
What's probably going on is the parameters inside are all fucked up. I mean, and I'm assuming everybody that's doing these tunes is doing their, you know, their little pen drive and flash and tune their shit. Don't have to go there and actually get a tune for what it is, like an actual tuner. I mean, what you're describing can only really go back to a tune, right? Because the air temperatures are involved heavily. We're fueling way too hard.
It does smoke a lot on the bottom when I shift gears. If I lean on it, it will roll some pretty good smoke. If I ease into it, it just hazes a little bit.
Okay, so
but once I'm up to highway speed, if I stab it, it doesn't.
So 75 actual 575 comes to and doesn't smoke at all.
Okay, it has a 605 in it currently.
Well,
but it did smoke just like this with the 575.
Right, because the parameters are all fucked up in it.
Okay, where do I go to get this corrected?
Boy, that's a question, isn't it? What yeah, what is this, a 870, 871, 22, 2350, X15? What is it?
It's an 870,
Okay.
dual cam 870.
Where do you go? I don't know, man. I don't have pocket tuners I can just tell you to go to. You know what I mean? A good tuner.
Right.
Glenn on Facebook here, he's saying he can fix it. He probably can. I know he's one of our shops on our maps. He could probably fix it. You know, if you want to DM him, he's on YouTube stream right now, commenting in there. You could DM him and he can get you his information.
What was his name?
Glenn's Auto and Truck Repair. I don't know his well, I do know his number actually, but you know, it's not stuff you give out on something like this, you know what I mean? But he's in the
Right. I hear you.
He's in the YouTube comment section. Jump over there, DM him really quick, get his information. He's probably the only guy I can think of offhand that I would, you know, you just, I mean, kind of a sensitive topic. I'm sure you understand that. Where are you located?
Yeah.
Where are you located at?
I live in central Kansas, about 90 miles north of Wichita. I'm currently sitting in Parachute, Colorado.
Okay, he's out of Arkansas.
Okay.
So
I go to Smackover quite a bit.
all right, well jump in the feed there and hit him up.
Okay, I'll see if I can figure out how to do that.
Yeah, on YouTube, just find me on YouTube. We're streaming live.
Okay. Thank you for the information.
Yep, later.
Bye.
Why can Detroit 60 series make 575 and still get decent mile per gallon? I mean, any engine can. A lot of times, increasing the horsepower will give you better fuel mileage on any platform. Talked about this a million times, not only on this show, but also made videos about it. It depends on what the job you're doing. You got a quick question about my 640 build? Well, ask it quick. I got to get back to the phones. There's several people waiting. I'm waiting. What's our question? I'll look for your question, and we're going to go ahead and take a caller. Lane Wright, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Man, I'm having issues with fuel consumption on this N14. When I first got this motor, it's getting up around 5.5, 5.25, and then it dropped down to 4.85 when it started getting hot out, and then it dropped to 4.2 at one point. Now it's back up to 5.21 miles a gallon. It's a 370 N14 with a 460. It's turned up to 460 with 1650 torque. I run 11R 24 5s, 10 speed with racers.
Right, but your fuel mileage is fluctuating all over the place and coming back to what your desired fuel mileage was. So if I had I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings here, but if I had a manual sitting here in front of me and I looked under fluctuating fuel mileages, I already know exactly what it will tell me as a cause, and it's going to cite the driver as the cause, being the variable that will cause that. All freight being the same, trailer being the same, route being the same. In other words, I'm the same weight, same trailer type, same route, and I have driver complaint of fuel mileage, and no variable is changed except for the fuel mileage I'm getting. If that's the case, it can only be the driver. Intermittent heavy foot.
Right. Well, right. Well, I mean, I keep it at 65 miles an hour, regardless of what the speed is. Just to try to
Right, but there's so many variables. The wind's blowing one day, it's not blowing another. I remember.
Well,
Let me give you a great example. I had a job and I just had to buy any truck I could get my hands on because I just didn't have enough trucks to fulfill this job. And it was for the oil company. I won a contract and I wasn't about to not fill it. I'd used up everybody to be a lease truck. And I had a friend fill that slot for me for a limited amount of time. And I went out and just bought whatever I could get my hands on. One of the trucks I bought was a Freightliner Columbia. First time I've ever owned one. And it had a 14-liter Detroit in it, but it had like, I can't remember what gear ratio it had, but this thing would do like 90 miles an hour at 1,400 RPMs. It's just fucking retarded, man. And when it slowed down a little bit, that was the first truck to get parked. Nobody wanted to drive that thing, right? So I had to go pick up a load of B Supers. And so I took that truck because it was the only one not being used. First time ever driving it. And it ran great all the way down there. Awesome fuel mileage. I was like, man, I actually am kind of impressed with this truck. And then I turned around to come home with that load. The most miserable trip of my life. I could not get that damn truck to go over 50 miles an hour because we were in a headwind, right? And with those long legs,
yeah.
I never left. My life is flagged for hate speech. What? Anyway, I never got back into 10th gear. It had a 10 speed. I was stuck in 9th gear all the way home, and I consumed so much fuel. It was mind boggling how much fuel I used trying to get home. Right. Same trip.
Yeah.
Same trip. Just the wind was blowing going back. So I think you're probably reading way too much into it. It's my opinion.
Right. Well, I mean, I haul, typically around 84,000. I haul Polar grain hop, stand up sleeper. I try to take it easy, but I noticed whenever I run her up to 1,800 before I shift, it actually gets a little bit better fuel mileage.
Right. But again, there's a variable that might be your gear ratio and just so on and so forth. What kind of terrain you're running on and all that. The worst fuel mileage, I've told this story before. The worst fuel mileage I ever got in my entire life on one trip is I got a spool, a pipe spool to take to the North Slope. And my paperwork said 14,000 pounds. And I was super excited, man, because I was I was going to stay in 7th gear. It wouldn't, I was like, it ain't going to matter if it's when I'm hitting the 18% grades, I'm still going to be on the high side, just getting it. This is going to be a 7-hour trip to Prudhoe Bay. You know what I mean? Instead of the usual 12 to 14. It ended up along my wheels. When I got there, it traveled 50 more. My mileage said I traveled 50 more miles than I actually did. What was going on is that was a long spool that looked like a candy cane, and all the weight was on the very back of the trailer, and it was lifting me up. And I actually put 50 extra miles on. That's how much I was spinning that much. I spun out on every mountain. I couldn't make it up a single. I was chaining up for shit, and I just have this 14,000 pound load, and I'm having to chain up, and I'm the only guy chaining up, and everybody's driving by looking at me like I'm a dumbass. And it took me like 16 hours to get there. It was the most miserable trip of my entire life. So you're reading too much into it, man. Go truck it.
Okay. Well, I mean, with fuel prices the way they are, I've even gone as far as put a home generator on the back of my truck and run a converter so I can shut my truck off at night.
Damn right.
Save my engine and save on fuel.
Yep, for sure. Highly recommend right now.
Yes, sir. All right, Aaron, I'll let you get back at it. I appreciate your insight.
Yep. Have a good night, man.
Good night.
Appreciate that. So, gentlemen, I said I would answer, so I have to put down to get one of your 640. You guys know that we've changed our business model to long block pluses. It's proven to be everything we hoped it was going to be. We're helping so many more people than we've ever helped before. It's proving to be the business model. Everybody that's getting them from us is just, we obviously we get all this feedback. Just being able to have this engine show up ready to go, and they're just throwing their externals on it. The cost of it's not super excessive. They're back on the road. It's so much faster. Awesome business model. But we're still building complete engines. The only thing we're not doing now is you call in and you can buy an engine from us because we don't want to be under that pressure. We're trying to do this long block thing, and it takes all hands on deck to keep up with the amount of people that are buying them. We're each guy's cranking out 4 to 5 a week. So we're doing 20, 25 a week, and we're barely keeping up. So, but we're always building an engine on the side, complete engine, and so we always got something coming up. But the way that works is there's several different guys out there that have thrown down, a down payment on a complete engine. And then we call them, we go down the list of the top guy on there, not by how much money they put down, but by when they got on our list. And then we go down the list and call, and you'd be surprised. We go down that list. We might go down 5 or 6 people that put money down. They're like, nah, it's not the one I want, or nah, I'm not ready for it right now. And then we'll get to one of those guys and we're like, fuck yeah, I'll take it. And we wrap it up and ship it out. So right now, I think there's probably 5 people on that list. 3 of them were on the list. 4 were on the list the last time we completed one. The first 3 guys declined the engine. So that's the way we're doing it for complete engines now. Guys that are really serious about it are just sitting on a list. And, we don't want to be in any big hurry to provide people with a complete engine. We refuse, but it's not our business model anymore. So the guys that still, for nostalgic reasons, or just really want that complete engine from us, that's the way they're doing it. That's the way my son set it up. Guys throw down on a new engine, and just, when we complete one, there's guys that are waiting for a 650 Cummins, and we're getting ready to build one. We'll go down that list, and one of those guys will take it. It's kind of like being on Rolex's list for a Rolex. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here, but that's the kind of the business model, so to speak. That makes sense. So back to the callers, guys. What is that down amount? I don't think it's a lot, man. You'd have to give us a call. Glade, he's one of our top salesmen. He's in the feed. He could probably answer that question. But anyway, Chris, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, man, it's you. Let's go.
Hey, well, I bought an ISX long block from you. I'm having low oil pressure issues. I called in. They're sending out a new oil pump, but man, I'm struggling to get contact and get answers from people, and it's just getting frustrating. I know this isn't the place for this, but
no, it's fine. It's fine.
I really need help here.
So here's what I typically find. Okay. I want to no, this is a good opportunity for me to explain something here. And I can appreciate your frustration. It's fine. But so I get dragged into a lot of these because customers will get really frustrated. And what typically is going on, I'm not saying it's your case, but is an opportunity for me to kind of put it out there for people, right?
Yep.
We were just letting people call in when they're having a problem and tell us what's going on. And then we had no way to track it. And then nobody ever goes back and takes care of the person that has the problem, right? Because so many people are calling us for everything in the world. So now we have a system set up where if you have a problem, we send you through a system where you got to fill out a form, you email it to us, and we kind of handle everything through that. And we have 4 support people, so we can keep up. Now, we should be keeping up with you, but they are instructed to kind of refuse to just engage with you on phone calls because, and we do call people, but we try to do it as little as possible because we put you in a pipeline, and that pipeline forces the guys that work here And I'm part of that pipeline too. It forces us to have to take care of you, right? And then what ends up happening is we're dealing with truck drivers that don't like formal stuff like that, and so they get upset. They're like, oh, well, and we have a guy right now that's running me down on social media. We've sent him the link like 700 times, and he just refuses to do it. And we've explained to him, hey man, you'll just get lost in our sea of people if you don't get in our pipeline. I'm not doing that shit. But he'll go and run me down on social media that we refuse to help him. You see what I'm saying? So no, I kind of appreciate the opportunity to say that. But let's talk about your problem, okay? I mean,
Real quick before you go, is the only thing I'm really frustrated about is that I paid for the motor on June 22nd or June 26th. I finally got my last part on August 15th, and
okay.
every time I ask a question on the form, it takes 24 to 48 hours to get an answer or a reply, and then I got to go, relay that to the shop and then ask them.
Sure.
It's too long. I've been in this for too
Yeah.
long now. I need to be somehow expedited on this situation. I'm about ready to go broke
Yeah,
trying to put a motor in a truck.
yeah, that's fair. What parts were you waiting on?
Well, I received my block before I received any of the externals, any of the oil pump, anything. I already had the block sitting at the shop. And then it took another 3 weeks to get all the externals that are bolted on. And then I had a rocker assembly issue, extended the time a little bit.
Yeah.
But they took care of it. It's just the amount of time it takes was just
Sure.
getting frustrating for me.
No,
And it's hard to deal with because I've been in it for so long. So.
Yeah, that's super valid. That's kind of weird. Typically, when we send a long block plus out and people have additional items, they're almost always on the pallet with it. So,
Yeah, I got nothing. When I bought mine, I bought every option you had except for stage 5. I got the oil bypass, the stiffener plate, the gapless rings. I bought everything you have to offer.
right. And
The turbo, manifold, everything.
and you got it all. It just kind of showed up sporadically. Sounds like.
Yeah, it showed up sporadically 2-3 weeks down the road, and
Yeah.
multiple phone calls and frustration and trying to get things to, and
Yeah.
I don't. So
Typically, everything ships on the same.
they're handling it. I'm at the point where I'm losing patience. So my 24 to 48 hour responses are getting frustrated.
Sure. No, that's valid. Let's talk about your oil pressure, though.
Okay.
What do you call in low oil pressure?
So at 180 degrees at idle, I got 16 pounds, and at 1600 RPM running down the road, I have 27 pounds.
Yeah, that's pretty low. And that thing's gonna have those hell and back bushings in it, so they're gonna be a little tighter. I do know that internally, for more than a year and a half, everything that we rebuilt, and for oil they've seen before. Yeah. What is it when it's cold? When you first started up, what's it going to?
Initial fire up at idle, I'm only sitting at about 25 pounds.
Wow. So obviously our solution was to send you a new pump. That sounds pretty normal for us.
Yep.
You may have to grab an OEM pump. Well, and if you did, we would obviously reimburse you for the pump and some of your headache, of course. But we've had to get a few OEM pumps recently, just for the same reason. We're not having the problem all the time, but it seems to be kind of a consistent thing where, not low as you're talking about, but a little lower than we're used to seeing, which isn't a problem necessarily, but yours is pushing the limit. You're not ruining anything, but I mean, I wouldn't want to run it like that. I mean, I wouldn't mind running it like that necessarily, but I wouldn't want to have, oh, this is my new engine, this is what I'm living with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if I had 600, 700,000 miles on it, I'd be like, oh, okay, you know, we're
Sure.
starting looking at something, but brand new, fresh. Like I don't want to start my journey at that oil pressure.
I know for sure. Uh, the new K2 said, and this is probably why I see this problem. I wasn't aware, so I'm learning something new right now. K2 Diesel, which he's a Cummins guy for sure, that I really respect his abilities. He says, keep in mind the new style cast iron pump runs between 4 and 8 psi lower pressure than the aluminum one they used to build. And I mean, I'm gonna have to say, well, that makes sense. That's why, recently we've pretty much seen every Cummins that we rebuild has 5 or 6 pounds lower than when we started, and we're like scratching our heads. I even had Charlie at Pure Diesel Repair. I sent him down a block and a crank and some rods and had him go through them all to make sure I wasn't missing, because just have different eyes look at it. And he's like, oh, nothing wrong. So,
And I thought the way I read that technical service bulletin from Cummins was that pump and the threaded relay, or I'm sorry, the threaded spring and flow control ball was supposed to help gain up to 6 pounds of oil pressure. So maybe I read that wrong on what compared to what the K2 diesel is saying. I am not a mechanic. I mean, I can handle little bits and pieces on my own, but
so he's saying no. It's the bulletin's telling you that it's lower. Now your Cummins is a high flow, low pressure system, so it doesn't need near the oil pressure that something like a Cat would need.
yeah, and I understand that. I just, I'm thinking that idle at 1800 RPM, I should be in the 20 range at least, and running down the road, I should be in the 35 plus or minus 3 to 4,
YouTube is awesome. Says
I will,
he hasn't seen that issue with the cast iron pumps from China. If you want to just skip the formalities, because if you have a brand new pump, the odds, and I'm just going to be super honest with you, the odds that another pump is going to give you different results is pretty slim. It just is.
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. My shop's trying to be really nice and hopeful and telling me that, oh yeah, it's a new pump, but I don't have a lot of faith in them, and then just don't fix the problem.
A couple guys are saying their ISXs run 22 at idle and 35 running down the road. What'd you say yours was at again?
Mine's 16 at idle and about 26 running down the road.
Yeah.
And I think if I had 20 to 22 at idle and 35 down the road, I wouldn't have a problem. I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Here's going to be my recommendation. Grab an OEM one. It's going to cut out some of your wait time as well, and see if that makes a difference. And we'll obviously refund you for the other ones, of course. That's what I would do. Now we've seen about a 5 pound change from running OEM ones. And we've been using that as a fix on ones that bother us like this.
Okay.
I'm going to recommend that. Get a hold of us tomorrow. What was your, let me write your, hang on one sec here. Okay. I'm going to write your number down and send it to Aiden and tell him to get a hold of you in the morning. Okay.
Yeah, it's invoice 9745.
Okay, that helps too. Thank you. 9745. Okay. And then I'll also talk to my son about your complaint there and see what we can do to tighten up our lead times.
Yeah, all the guys are really nice and knowledgeable. I'm getting stuff answered when I do get a chance to talk to somebody or get an email from them. But
Yeah.
I'm just, from June 26th till now, I'm kind of losing my patience a little bit and kind of I don't want to wait 24 hours for an answer,
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Well, I do appreciate you. And I know all our guys appreciate you. We're not trying to make it difficult for sure, but I will bring those things up with them. We try to be pretty on top of these. So, what you're complaining about is not a common complaint that we get, but I'm going to bring it up with them anyway. The most common complaint we get, honestly, is people don't want to fill out the form. Usually when guys fill out the form, it's kind of pretty smooth riding from there. But it sounds like really your biggest problem is it was, a stacked amount of problems and having to go back and do the same thing over and over again. So,
It probably is. And I'm trying to be patient. I know you guys are a growing company and you're going fast right now. And it's, it's part of the process.
yeah.
Like I said, I appreciate you taking the phone call and handling it. And we'll look to go that route and hopefully hear from somebody.
If the OEM one doesn't fix it, get a hold of us and we'll get more deeply involved with it. Okay.
Okay. Thanks for your time, bud.
Yep. All right. Bye. Robert Freeman's all over in the comment section here crying about me. I have no clue what his problem is, but he's saying if you buy from him, you will never be able to talk to him. How are you going to make people believe that when I'm sitting right fucking here and you can talk to me? Make that. So tell me, where is the owner of PDI? Where is the owner of Highway and Heavy Parts? Where is the owner of IPD? Where is the owner of PAI? Where is the owner of Interstate McBee? Are you talking to them? Have you ever talked to them? Are you ever going to get to talk to them? Do you even think about the stuff that comes out of your mouth? Back to the callers. Here we go. Dwayne, you're on the air, brother. What can I do for you?
I'm on right now.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I've got an ISX 2350 CM, and I was just wondering about the PDI intake, the exhaust manifolds. Actually, if you can give me some insight on that, or if you have any knowledge on those.
Yes, quite extensive.
Yeah. All right. So, I've been my EGT go higher than normal, the highest, and then would you say that the intake, the exhaust manifold would be a direct fix for that, or should I dive deeper into something else?
I mean, so you haven't told me about a problem yet, because the number you just said is not a problem. You said 850. You're not even close.
I've seen them go up higher.
Okay, so what's the highest you've ever seen?
I've seen it go to 1100, and it normally it's never going up that high though. That's why I was concerned. It normally goes up to 850 and sits there.
Still not a problem.
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
But
all right.
Let me answer your question. PDI's manifold would absolutely lower those temperatures. I can't stand that company. I would not recommend you use them. They're terrible to deal with if you have any kind of problems at all. They're the worst. And you will find most people will tell you that. But is their manifold a good manifold? Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you it's not because I don't like them. But there's better people you can deal with options that are just as good, if not better. So there's that.
Yeah, 'cause that's the thing. I run out in California, so I haven't really heard of a lot of like places closer by because they're like up.
Dude,
Oh, I can get there the same day.
why are you in a hurry? You don't have a problem. You can get one from Full Tilt, great company. You can get one from us. Apparently, we pretend to be a great company. You know, I mean, there's other people. There's other people.
Well, do you guys sell a replacement intake like PDI does too, or no?
We have them, yeah. We don't have our own custom one, but yeah, there's ones out there, man, and we sell them all the time.
Yeah, that was the only reason I was thinking about the PDI manifold because I've heard a few guys say that their intake is good too because it gets a lot more airflow.
It is, but you know, North Korea probably makes some good stuff too, but I'm not interested in buying it because because Kim Jong Un's a piece of shit, right? So,
Oh yeah, I hear you on that.
I mean, Full Tilt makes both those things you're talking about. We have both those things you're talking about. That would be my advice. All right, brother. But I want you to remember.
All right, thank you.
I want you to remember you don't have a problem. Okay. So if you don't want to spend the money, if you don't want to spend the money, don't.
So, in your opinion, when do you think it would be a problem? Like what temperature should I look for?
Well, brother, if you start going up to 1200 and can't bring her back down, you got a problem. But listen, those two items that you're talking about, they do help a lot with fuel savings and everything else. And they also help reduce the chances of the liner sinking, especially in the last two holes. I highly recommend, but not to cure a problem you don't have. That makes sense?
Yeah, I get you.
All right, brother.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Have a good one, man. The other thing, back to that conversation from the last caller, you know, I didn't feel like he was attacking me at all. I don't, you know, if I don't ever get to hear anything like that, how the fuck do I know what to improve on? But we spent $120 with NetSuite, and we have been working around the clock to get it instituted into our business. It's what everybody uses to have the great customer service that they have. You know, from highway and heavy parts, it's everybody uses NetSuite, but it is such a huge process and a huge amount of money to get it done. We spent the money 5 months ago. We're so close. We're about probably 2 to 4 weeks away from having it completed. Once we get that completed, everything will be so much more streamlined. People have such a better experience with us. You know, it just is what it is. I do appreciate everybody that is support us, despite the fact we're you know, we're not perfect in every way for sure. Of course, Robert Frame here says because he's called and asked for me and got nowhere. Robert, I don't believe you got nowhere. I believe that when you called and asked for me, salesperson or support person that gave you the number to the show, told you available here and you could get a hold of me. Instead of calling in, you decided to come into the comment section and try to run me down. Make that make sense. Here I am. The number to call in, 573-422-4225. That's 573-422-4225. And again, I'd like to ask, what company in the United States can you call and talk to the owner? There isn't one. Not in our trucking sphere. There isn't one. So it's a little offensive, yeah, that you're coming on here trying to run me down for something you're literally watching me do. Anyway, back to the callers. No name on this one. You're on the air, brother. What can we do for you? I see it's a North Dakota number.
Oh. Hello?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
surprised it didn't pop up as Bill.
Oh no. What can I do for you?
I got a few questions, mainly regarding, you talk about coolant temp or engine operating temp to burn off carbon. What would be optimal?
Oh, anything over 180.
Anything over 180. Okay.
Yep.
Because my 5EK, the ECM doesn't operate the fan switch. There's a thermal switch for that.
Yep.
So I got a 210 one instead of the 205 to run it as warm as possible. My question was, do they make thermostats that are like 200
No.
or not?
You don't want to do that anyhow. No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good, man. Like, if that fan coming on at 210, you're good. You're good for sure.
And then with the 70 pins and up that operate the fan with the ECM, and I know some 40 pins can too, but those start at like 217 if I'm not mistaken, correct?
most of your cats, the fan doesn't come on until 218. But when guys are looking at their gauge, they'll swear to you it comes on at like 210 or 214 or something like that. And that's because the ECM is reading from a different spot or reading much faster, right? It's able to read faster.
Yep, and I got a scan.
Okay.
I got a scan gauge that reads from the ECM or whatever.
Sure.
My next question is, I'm trying to keep it short since I don't have an active problem like some of your other customers.
That's good.
Your oil bypass system. I purchased the AMSOIL one right before I started seeing the videos about yours, and of course, stopped making filters for them. So my question is, what size lines do you run for your guys' bypass?
Well,
Does it matter, or
it doesn't matter. No.
the filter regulates the flow?
Pretty much, yeah. So we don't supply lines anymore. We did that for the first like 60 or so that people got from us. What a fucking nightmare, dude. Holy cow. It was such a nightmare because people just had to put them all over the place. And so we just dropped the price on them like $300 or something and stopped providing all that. So guys could it's just 2 lines. Go down and make your 2 lines, right?
Yep.
So
that's what I did with mine too.
Right. So, half the people couldn't use what we sent, and half the people had way too much, and it just became insane. So, and we had a big meeting about providing more and raising the price even more and providing more. And I was like, man, it makes more sense to provide nothing and drop the price dramatically. It ain't going to cost you $300 to make 2 lines. You know what I mean? So it's smarter. So that's how we did it. So ours don't come with the lines.
And then does the drain come out the bottom?
Yeah.
Because I haven't gotten to see it. I've watched some videos on it, but
Yeah.
so it self drains when you go to change the filter.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. How much does that kit run, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know, honestly. My son handle all that.
Okay. And then sometimes just because the last guy brought it up about EGTs, what's too hot in the manifold on something like a 5EK cat? Because I saw 1300 a couple times when I was running a 550 brake saver file. So I kind of backed down on the horsepower due to that. I also didn't have the exact correct piston crowns. I've got the 16.25 compression instead of 15.9 compression.
You have the low horsepower ones. Is that what you're saying?
Yep, but they're at least still steel topped.
Yeah, she'll run hot.
You know, is 1300 too high in the manifold, not post turbo like a lot of people have on their EGT probes?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that would be post turbo. I actually don't know the numbers off the top of my head what would be at manifold, but man, I couldn't imagine it'd be 200 degrees different from manifold to post turbo. You know, that's what, like 6 inches?
I've always heard 150 still.
Plus,
so that means you'd be at like 1150
okay.
post turbo.
I mean, if you were to ask Kat,
Rough assumption.
If you were to ask Kat would tell you that's not a problem.
Okay. All right. I guess those are all the questions I had for you. I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Yep. You too, bro. Have a good night, man.
You too. Bye.
What's the difference between your bypass filter and a catch can? I don't think those are even in the same realm, brother. A catch can is for if we're talking about the same thing, is for blow by. Ours takes active pressurized oil and runs it through a filtration system, then puts it back into the system, effectively filtering the entire sump of oil a couple times a day, and it filters it down to 3 micron and takes everything out, including moisture and all of that kind of stuff. So basically like doing an oil change a couple times a day. So the reason I became such a big fan of them and wanted to get our own and start promoting them is because of all the engines over the years that come through here. Every time one comes through here with a well-maintained oil bypass system, it is mind-boggling what those engines look like compared to ones that don't have them. I'm talking million-mile engines, and they just look immaculate, man, immaculate. Even soot, yes, man, they take out the soot as well. Back to the callers. Lucas, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, man, I've got a 2006 20607. I'm not sure. C15 A-Cert. And it's a little breasty. What's considered acceptable blow-by for one of those? Everybody's told me delete the IVAs and your blow-by will go away.
That's nonsense. Doesn't contribute to your blow-by at all.
I didn't think so. I'm a Detroit guy. You know, I was a diesel mechanic for 10 years. I've got a dump truck fleet here in East Tennessee. And I'm like, that just something's not adding up here.
So first of all, let's understand really quick what the VVA does. The VVA allows, so your 18-to-1 piston pulls in more air. It actually pulls in more air than it's planning on using. And right before combustion, the variable valve actuator actuates and opens, and it allows some of that air to escape before combustion, thereby cooling off the combustion temperature. Okay. If you can tell me how that contributes to blow-by, then you can sell me beachfront property in Arizona.
Understood.
Long story short, I mean, it's really hard to tell how much blow-by you have without measuring it with a CFM meter like we have here. But a good way to determine your amount of blow-by, you don't have the catch can filtration system on your blow-by tube, do you?
No, this is a stock motor. It's got a 475 tune, steel twin turboed. It's always been serviced by Caterpillar.
Okay, so
we're only looking at it like 425,000 miles.
How many miles do you put on it before you change the oil?
10.
Okay, perfect. And how much oil do you have to add getting into 10,000?
I had about a gallon in that 10,000 range.
Do you have any external leaks at all?
Yes, I have some minor rocker box leaks, but not. I mean, it's not running down the side of the motor, but it's definitely collecting dust.
Okay. Doesn't sound like you have a problem to me. Doesn't sound like you have a problem. But I'd recommend doing an oil sample. You know, they're cheap, they're easy, it ain't no problem. Really easy to do. Do an oil sample, and that's going to tell you if you have elevated soot levels and all that kind of stuff. And then you know, and you don't have to worry about it. But it doesn't sound like you have a problem.
Okay, so they're. I'm used to 60 series. You know, they're a breathy motor anyway, and it breathes about like my 60 series do.
Okay. I mean, I'm just basing it off your oil consumption. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I have no other way to base it other than it sounds breathy, right? That didn't help me very much. I'm not trying to be a dick. It's just I'm trying to help you out here. It doesn't sound like you have. It doesn't sound like you have a problem. It sounds like maybe you're beginning to. But oil sample. You can even call this show and tell me the results.
Perfect.
All right, brother.
I'll do it because it's doing oil change. I ain't gonna keep you time. I appreciate it, man. Have a good evening.
Yep. Have a good night, man. You know,
See you. Bye.
A lot of people don't pull oil samples. They just simply don't know an easy way to get their hands on one. Under My Hood, Amazon, get one. We also have them. You can get them from us. We'll send them to you. No problem. I've seen cheap oil cause, so have I. Glenn says, I don't think he has a problem. I've seen cheap oil cause engine to be breathy. Agree wholeheartedly with that. You want to blow by engine, throw some Dello 400 in it. You'll chew through some oil real quick. All right, Justin, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, no problem, man. What's going on?
Got a cat guy here. I got a 2006 Acer, P15 Acer. I actually dropped a reman in it, a long block reman in it about 10 years ago. And it's been running great here for about the last year or so. And then my head gasket started leaking. And so I called the shop. They came out and replaced my head gasket. And not long afterwards, my driver started telling me that the oil pressure light was coming on. So my oil pressure, we got looking at it, kept riding around with him, and oil pressure was dropping down at an idle to down about 15 psi. A light would come on the oil pressure gauge. So I was just wondering, like, at what point, how low can those cats go before we really need to be looking at something? Obviously, we've got some kind of problem.
Oh, yeah, you got problems, brother.
Pressure.
You got to remember your cat.
Right.
This ain't like these Cummins conversations we've been having with guys when we're talking about these really low oil pressures and nobody's really getting alarmed. When you're talking about a cat, man, that is a high pressure, low flow system. So oil pressure plays a much bigger role in whether you have a problem. And when you drop below 18, you're no longer oiling the valve train and critical components. You're just basically getting oil to the rods and mains. You'd got to get that thing opened up. You probably have wore out the rods and mains, would be my guess. Stop driving it. How about that?
Yeah.
Stop driving it.
Yeah, we parked it.
Yeah, drop. It's
Sure.
probably not something crazy. How many miles are on it? Since do you have any clue?
Man, it's tough to say. We run a ton of PTO time. I mean, a ton right here in West Texas in the oil field, and just run a ton of PTO time. And I'm changing oil right between 300 to 400 hours, based on hours, not miles.
Okay.
It was tough to kind of get a mileage on it off the top of my head. I don't remember exactly when I put that in there, but
How many
I
years?
got the Lone Star Truck Group helping me. I put that in 2016, so probably 10 years old, give or take. Running about 50 hours a week, 50, 60 hours a week. You know, five, 6 days a week. I know there's a formula to figure that up, you know, but it's probably got quite a bit of, you know. And I told those guys I've had a couple of failures here.
That's
These cats here recently. and
that's
done a
20.
little bit
That's
more research. and-
that's 24,000 hours.
Yeah. Okay. Would that be considered
1.2
super
million.
high, super low?
That's 1.2 million miles.
Okay. Well, then there we go. That's probably a big part of the problem there. It's just 10 years doesn't seem like it's been that long, but golly, just flew through it quick. So just these big things, just drop the oil pan and maybe see how the main bearings are looking, or maybe go with the new oil pump or the oil pump.
1.2 million miles. Nothing left to talk about. You just go into it to overhaul it, or give us a call. We'll give it a drop in and drop it in there, and consider yourself fortunate you made it that far.
I may do it. I may do it, man. Well, when he replaced that head gasket, we did cylinder 2, 3, and 4. Did have some scoring. But we did just drop in 1, 2, 3 cylinder packs. Head gasket, everything looked great. I've got a little old bypass filter on it, system on it as well. Really trying to take care of these things, man. But yeah, that's a lot of miles, dude.
Yeah, it is.
That's a lot of miles.
Those bypass
Well, man. Cool. Well, thanks for
those bypass filtration systems. They sure are something, aren't they?
Man, they are. I'm using a system called Clean Oil.
Yep.
The guy out of Hobbs, New Mexico, kind of got me fixed up with the system, and it's supposed to get it down to 1 micron. And I was just hearing you talk about it earlier, and I catch samples fairly regular, and my oil sampling.
That's the company
the
that makes
engineer that sends the
that,
results.
that's the company that makes ours, brother, and they go to 3 micron.
Oh, okay, cool.
They'll feed you a little line.
All right.
They'll feed you a little line of shit that it can go down to 1, but it doesn't.
Okay. Yeah. I may get some old sample kits from you though. I do like the, you know, the results I'm getting from these guys. But I would have tried something different because I had a failure, and all my sample results, everything looked fine, and I had a failure. And I'm like, what the hell?
How often do you change? How often do you change your filter on that bypass?
Ugh. See, that's something I gotta get a little bit better at tracking.
They're not doing it every service, are
I
they?
would say no. Well, they told me to when they told me the bypass the system. They said, okay, just change the oil filter on the motor and change this bypass filter. You should be able to go 100,000 miles without changing your actual engine oil. And man, that's just hard for me to do. I just couldn't get myself to just not change the damn engine oil, man. I still change the engine oil.
If you
change the damn engine filter.
And so if you ran a better oil, like we tell people with our oil, that you know, they're telling you to go 100,000 using that system, with conventional. We tell people if they use our oil, which is a true PAO, 100% synthetic, not even a petroleum product, never change it. And we mean it. Never change it.
Okay. Well, and I'm glad you brought that up. So I just, here not too long ago, I swapped over to a full synthetic. I was running a synthetic brand, and then I finally got my hands on a full synthetic.
Yep.
And it's not a big name. Well, it is a big name brand. It's a Phillips 66 full synthetic. So
okay. So
what are you guys running?
So there's a big difference between.
How much is it per gallon?
Hang on. There's a huge difference between what you just said and what we have. And what you have is a petroleum product that's been hydrocracked at least 3 times. That's going to make it a tier 3 petroleum, right? And they're able to call that a full synthetic because of a Supreme Court ruling. It was Mobile One versus Pennzoil, I think it was, and Mobile One lost. When Mobile One lost, and everyone could make a full synthetic, air quoting here, from regular conventional oil, everybody started doing it. Now, there's a big difference between, I'll use Rotella as a good example. So your Rotella T4 is a regular conventional oil that's been hydrocracked at least one time. So it is a vastly superior oil to what our grandpas used to run. Versus Rotella's T6, what they call their full synthetic, that's been hydrocracked about 3 times. And it's so far molecularly removed from a regular conventional oil that they're able to call it a synthetic. And it is vastly better than T4. T6 is so much better than T4. It's not even funny. But a true full synthetic oil, barring, forget what the Supreme Court says, is an oil made from natural gas or from, I can't remember the other gas you can make it from, but it's made from gas and it's synthesized into an oil. That is actually synthetic oil and it doesn't break down, right? Your group 3 oils still break down. They just take a lot longer. So our oil is a true group 4 oil that can go basically indefinitely. As long as you keep it clean, it doesn't ever break down. You can't say that for group 3 oils. I'm not saying the oil you're using is shitty, and I am going to tell you straight up, you can take it out a way further interval than the oil you were using before. Never buy a semi-synthetic, guys, ever, because there's no federal standard of how much synthetic has to be in it. They can have 1% synthetic and call it a semi-synthetic. And what do you think they all do? It's exactly what they do. You're getting ripped off.
No kidding. Wow. What the hell?
So you'll see a vast improvement over that oil just for that fact. Your semi-synthetic, you were just getting ripped off. I don't care which brand it was, you were getting ripped off.
Good to know. Okay. I may holler at you guys and get some pricing. I don't go through a ton of it. I go through about a tote at a time. So I holler at y'all to get a price. Again, I'm over here in Ozona, Texas. I'm 5'10". When San Antonio is still be based out of in the middle of nowhere, so I don't even know how y'all would even get it to me. Like that.
We get everything to everybody, man. We supply Canada, Hawaii, Alaska. It don't matter. And we sell those places all the time.
All right.
When you get a filter from us, when you get filters from us, though, we supply you with oil samples every filter. That way you can pull a sample every time you change the filter.
So I can come to you and buy the clean oil air filter or bypass filters as well.
I mean, you'd have to check with our sales team, make sure that they match. But yeah, and when you get them from us, they come with the sample kit. But anyway, all right, brother, I still got people on here. I'm running into the end of the show here. Have a good night, man. Yep.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Catch you later.
There you go. There's a guy that runs a bypass system. Do it for a bypass filter. No, you don't need a bypass. I did a secondary fuel filter on your truck. Am I correct? You said PAO oil? Yes, I did. As far as I know, we're the only people in the United States offering a true full PAO Group 4 oil. There are other companies that offer blends of it. I think we're the only ones that have a full. Would I recommend a 3-piece or a 1-piece exhaust manifold? You know what? Our exhaust manifold is just about to be in stock. I showed you guys, we have prototypes and this and that. We're almost ready to debut them. And I purposely am coming out with a 3-piece, incredibly heavy duty, but it's a 3-piece on purpose, kind of like Full Tilt does and whoever else, because I've just seen too many bolts break and all that if they're not able to flex at all. So I prefer a 3-piece personally. They have lip seals, should be fine. Back to the callers. You're on there, brother. What can we do for you?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm here, brother. Hit me with it.
All right, man. To begin with, I want to thank you for everything you do for the trucking industry. Number one.
Okay. Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you. Sorry, I'm reading the comments while you're talking to me, so kind
that's fine.
of wasn't paying attention. Thank you for that, brother. What could we do for you?
I have a 2023 Cascadia with a DD13, and I want to go ahead and start paying towards a rebuild. What do you got going on for the future?
I mean, do you mean like for overhaul kit and all the parts? We have everything for that.
No, like just an engine. How you sell them?
Like a long block to replace that one.
Yeah.
You'd have to call in on that. We have done a couple of DDs and a couple of Packars. It's not really our business model. You'd have to call in and see what the sales team says to you. I'm not sure if we're servicing that or not. We might.
Oh, okay. For a Gen 5, right?
For a Gen, whatever the hell you want, man.
Sounds good, man. I want to paint there's an engine, man. So I want to go ready.
Yeah, give us a call. I'm not going to tell you that. No, we don't supply that. So you'd have to give us a call and we'll let you know. All right.
Sounds good, man. Take care. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, we got two more callers. Caller number 16, you'll be the last caller here, guys. I'm going to shut the phone lines down. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to see. My dog's making me nervous. Give me 2 seconds. I'll only be gone for 2 seconds. Okay, all good, all good. Not sure what she was barking at, but it wasn't human beings. So I just laid out an intro. No, I didn't. Anyway, back to the callers here. Let's run through them and see if we can spend a few minutes in the comments section. John, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
I got an X15. I'm starting to get a turbo squeal like on the low side of going through the gears, and then it kind of goes away. I'm starting to notice I'm also losing a little power. So I was wondering, like, would it be a good thing to like get away from the VGT and get a manifold with like a, S400 turbo, or what you think about it?
Instead of talking about what you should do, let's make sure you have a problem. What exactly is it doing to you?
It's like going through like the bottom gears. It starts squealing, like a loud squeal noise, like a squealing as you're accelerating, and then it kind of just goes away.
Okay. Are you having when it's squealing? Are you having a hard time building boost?
Always building boost fine. I'm still getting like 33, 34 at times. I was just nervous of that noise, of the squealing noise.
Okay, it's probably not the turbo.
Okay.
I can tell you this much, man.
I had a bunch of problems with the turbo before.
Okay, VGT.
Like with the VGT and stuff like that.
I know they can be a little problematic, and I know that when they go out, they're pretty expensive. But man, you just can't beat a VGT, man. They just kick ass. They really do. But what you're describing as a boost leak, if you can see the comment section, it's unanimous. Every single person, including myself, is saying you're describing a boost leak.
Okay.
You need to find out where you're leaking from. Exhaust leak, boost leak, something.
Okay. So you don't think of getting rid of the VGT would be a good thing, like to go just like with a regular turbo? I think I'll talk with you guys and say y'all had a kit for it, like to get away from the VGT or something like that.
I mean, why do you got to say that on here, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Anyway, you know, the problem is, dude, now you're getting into tuning. Now you're getting into this, and
Okay.
you're getting into that, and you're getting into, you're losing your third stage Jake, and on and on and on. You know, and I don't think you have a turbo problem, first of all. Second of all, when you have your next turbo problem, hit us up. Ours are about half the price, and we don't require you to give us back your core because ours are brand new units, including the actuator. And they absolutely kick ass. They
Okay.
got quick spool fins in them and all that. So, but I don't think you have a turbo problem. You're gonna end up buying a turbo for no damn reason, you know.
Okay. Okay. Well, I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Good luck, man. One of my salesmen's gonna be like, "You son of a bitch." Well, I had him talked into that. Oh, how much boost can an 18-to-1 compression cat handle? I've had mine at 62 pounds of boost, brother. I also put a hot tune on one of mine one time, and I had her push up close to 70, and I blew a chunk of the head gasket about that big right out the back. So they do have a limit. They definitely have a limit. Clevens, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you? I think that's your name.
How you doing, man?
Good, man. What can I do for you?
Man, I got a 6NZ cat. I done blew the injector cups. This is the second time on it. And this has had a platinum overhaul done by Hulk Cat. And it done blew him out again in 2 weeks after changing them out.
The injector cups?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I got fuel going back in the radiator.
So, just hear me out here. Injector cups are something that we damn near refuse to do here, especially on cats. And the reason is because, and I own all the toolings for it and all that, and we stopped doing them years ago, and just kind of, it's not a thing that we do here anymore. And it's because when your injector cups fail on your cat, it's never for the sake of the injector cup. It is always because that head has suffered some kind of an event somehow where it got too hot, and you can change injector cups on that for the rest of your life, and you're never going to fix the problem.
God. Damn. Ugh. All right. Just sound like I'm going to have to go into his head.
Yes, we stopped doing them a long time ago because you do them, and then 2 weeks later, the problem's back, and you do them again, and 2 weeks later, the problem's back. And I mean, you're not surprising me at all with your story. You're going to do them again, and the problem's going to come back. And there's only one solution. It's not the one you want to hear, but it's the one that's right.
Mm-hmm. All right, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, man.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, that's it for the callers. Shut it down. Still got 11 minutes here, so I'll hang out with you guys. It is an effective solution because it's the only way. Yeah, and another guy said same thing with Cummins. I agree personally. You know, we had a representative come here that makes those special changeable injector cups. You just got to pull them out, and you do this machining and this and that. Now you have a changeable injector cup for cylinder head, and he's showing us all this and trying to talk to us about it. And eventually I was just like, but why? But why? You know, the head's bad if you're doing injector cups, dude. Changing injector cups, fixing the problem is such a low likelihood of being successful. We quit doing it. Are we hiring? We are hiring. We just put an ad up for 5 different positions. I think we filled 2. We put it up yesterday. I think we filled 2 of them today. But yeah, we're still hiring. Mm-hmm. Is it safe to keep VVAs on with a single turbo? No, it's not. You end up with cracked out head and all kinds of problems. Slow down, boys. Slow down. Is it important to preheat an engine before starting in cold weather, block heater or coolant heater? Man, yes. Are you going to ruin it if you don't? Probably not. But it's hard on them. It's hard on them. Block heater, especially. The ones made for them is the ones you want to use. You know, every engine's got some kind of factory style block heater. You know, all the different kind of heaters you can put on an engine, oil pan heater, this, that. If you have to pick one, that block heater is the one. CGI heads, man, I've been really impressed with those CGI heads. I haven't really shown anybody some of the results we've seen. We've already seen some guys have failures, you know, ditch trucking. We saw hundreds of them. We're going to start seeing failures right away, of course. And we've seen some of these heads suffer some major heat strokes, guys that would take out a normal head 100% of the time. And some of these CGI heads are surviving it. Blows my mind. You know, where they're not cracking out and this and that. So I've been pretty impressed with the CGI heads so far. I don't have enough data yet. I mean, I have data from industry data, but we don't have enough personal data for me to shoot my mouth off too much. But so far, we've been really impressed. It's been hot here in Arkansas. I almost had to turn my fan on when I left the house this morning. Oh, man. It's like people don't understand what I'm saying in all those videos when I'm talking about, you know, your cooling package and how you never have to run your fan. They're designed to cool the engine in all conditions. And so when they design them, they test them against a standard, and that standard is a completely heat-soaked engine. In other words, it's already as hot as it can get internally. There's nowhere for heat to escape to. Ambient temperature at 120, and put 100% load on it, and will it still cool when it's supposed to? So you're never going to see conditions like that. So if you're having to turn your fan on to keep the engine cool, you know, manually turn it on, then there's some other problem. That's all I'm trying to say. You have something wrong, whether that's a plugged cooling system, fan not working properly, whatever, blowing up cylinder head, hole in a liner. I don't know what your problem is, but you have a damn problem if you're having to manually operate the fan. Hey, quit. You silly dog. Yeah, the dog is definitely ready to go. We have an automatic feeder at the house. She was getting so fat, we had to stop letting the kids feed her. So we got a robot to feed her, and it feeds her at 5:30 every night, and she knows she missed it. She is not happy. Yeah, not blowing out radiators. It's a huge issue industry-wide. That's a fact. Glenn, I run at 120% load. You know, that's funny, Glenn, because I actually saw after you and I had our little conversation there on social media, I saw several people comment, and it wasn't worth, you know, going after them or anything, but several people commented that their equipment or whatever runs above 100% load. Like, guys, it's not a thing. You can't run above 100% load. You know what happens when you go above 100% load? The engine stalls and dies. You want me to prove it to you? I can prove it to you with our dyno out there. If we slam it too quickly to 100% load and we don't ease it up to it, it can't handle it. It can't handle. I don't care what RPM it's at. It will put that engine in the dirt and kill it. Anyway, what you can't do is take an engine above 100% load. Otherwise, the 100% has no meaning. It's so silly. So silly. If we could go above 100% load, we wouldn't need transmissions. Do we do generator engines? Yeah, man. We do. We do pump engines. We actually have a contract with Quadra Pump out of Canada. They're a major pump company. They order engines from us around the clock. We just gave them a quote for 6 more yesterday. We quote them out for C32, C27s, you name it. We haven't won any of those quotes yet, and it's because they didn't win the contract with their customer. We do C7s, C9s, industrial engines. I have a 3208 getting picked up tomorrow coming here. Can't wait to build that one. I'm probably going to build that one personally. That's going to be fun. I've never built one of those before, so I think I'm going to be the guy that builds it. $3408? No, we haven't done any 3408s. But we would, right? We would. So, do we do any John Deere engines? I have videos of us doing John Deere engines, man. You go back and look in our, it's a kind of a funny story. We use our shop in North Dakota used to be right beside the John Deere dealer, and one of my sons worked there, and that John Deere refused to rebuild engines. They'd only do new drop ins, and a guy had an older sprayer that he had in there, and they quoted him like $60-some thousand for this little 4-cylinder drop-in John Deere, and he just couldn't afford it. It was worth more than the sprayer. And my son's, it went to the owner, and he said, "Man, why don't you just have my dad overhaul these and contract him?" They ended up doing that. John Deere ended up contracting us as their engine builder in North Dakota, and we started building all kinds of John Deere engines for John Deere. John Deere wouldn't tell anyone, but they would pull the engine out. They'd bring it to us. We'd overhaul that John Deere engine. We'd give it back to them. They'd put it in the customer's back in the equipment. So that was a good gig. It wasn't something I really let everyone on social media know we were doing because we've done 3116 because, I mean, obviously out of respect for the dealer was doing something pretty outside of the box for them, having an outside builder build all their engines. But we did that for quite some time. Hey, Aaron, I'm getting ready to put the turbo for my 6NZ that I got from you. Is there a chance I'm going to get the exhaust soon? I would rather wait. Are they still 30 days out? I don't know how far out they are. I know my boys were talking about them the other day, so we're just about to get them. I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head, though. Glade, I see you're still in the comments section here. Do you know what the TA is on our manifolds? I know Matt was just talking about it. Maybe Glade knows. I'm waiting to see if he says. I'm not sure. I sure would hate to have somebody hold up putting their truck back together, though. Middle of next month is probably the safe bet, is what he's telling me to tell you. So 2.5, 3 weeks. That's a long time to wait, brother. Long time to wait. We bought 70,000 of them. Why does that guy out west in North Dakota badmouth you guys so bad? I thought you guys did a great job. Well, I don't know who you're talking about, brother. I don't know who badmouths me out there, but I almost made a video today. I saved a bunch of comments. Now pay attention to what I'm going to tell you. If you go to like the Cummins groups on Facebook and the cat groups on Facebook, like Lloyd and all those dumbasses over there, you will find no limit to how many people are running me down. But none of those people have done business with me. They're all mechanics, all of them. None of them ever bought anything from me. Nobody have ever done anything with me. Mechanic shops have hated me since I got on social media. That's been a fact. In fact, I became as famous as I am by fighting with other mechanics. Mm-mm. Tell me about your PAO oil. I got a lot of videos on it, man. And I'm kind of holding off on making any more videos. We're completely out of oil right now. Completely out of oil. You guys bought us out for the second time. And we're having a little bit of a delay getting restocked because they are making us our own boxes, our own bottles, our own, with our own label, everything. We're finally having our own legit product. So, you've been working on equipment for years and never understood the hate? Well, then you don't understand people very well, my friend. People hate me and because they project themselves onto me, you know. There's a lot of shady shops out there, and they just, the way we do things rubs them wrong. So my oil comes from Bahrain. Oh, you sly little booger. You sly little booger. See, that guy knows what he's talking about right there. Why did he say, so your oil comes from Bahrain? And that's because Bahrain is basically the world's supplier of that oil. Clever guy, clever guy, clever guy. PAO oil is really hard. There's a worldwide shortage of it right now, because of where it comes from. The majority of it, not all of it, comes from Bahrain, but most of it comes from there. So clever guy, clever guy. That guy knows his shit. Good call, brother. Can you suggest me a good scanner to keep in the truck as an owner operator? Not really, man. I've never seen a good scanner that worked. I mean, not the one that I know of. I'm not saying there aren't any. You thought the oil came from a pump jack out behind my house. Yeah. Oh, people are saying the same thing on all the feeds. Yeah, that people are so goofy. Is our oil coming from Bahrain? I know our first round of it did. And then we had a problem. We got delayed on getting more in because of what's going on over there. And I'm pretty sure they sourced our last round of it from the United States. We don't not make any here. We just, Bahrain's who makes most. Yeah. I get so much shit because I pull the curtain back and show the wizard. I agree with that. I've been doing that from the very beginning. I'm super honest all the time. I'm transparent, I think, is a better word than honest. I don't have to be honest. I'm just transparent instead. We show all our failures in our industry. Par for the course is for every mechanic out there to pretend like their shit doesn't stink. They don't have any problems. And here you have one of the most successful shops in the United States, showing people failures all the time, going through why they happen, showing what he did for the end user, trying to be fair with everybody all the time, trying to make sure that never rip anybody off, no matter how much it hurts him. Yeah, of course people are going to hate me. It's not normal. I'm not saying there's no shops like that, but it's certainly not normal. I've had good luck running AMSOIL in my cat engines. AMSOIL makes really good oil. AMSOIL is not pure PAO like they imply. But if you look on the bottle, they never make that claim. They never make that claim. People just assume it. It is a blend. And again, I'm pretty sure we're the only people in the United States that have a pure PAO oil. The only people. Hot Shot Secret. I've never been a fan of Hot Shot stuff, to be honest with you. Amsoil is still better than Rotella. Fuck yes. As far as oil goes, I think our oil is the best oil in the market, and I think if you went and tested it, you would find that out for yourself. Especially when our new labeled oil comes out, we improved it even more. But after us, Amsoil is going to be everything on the market. I guarantee it. I'm not sitting here telling you Amsoil is bad oil. I'm just telling you they're not what people give them credit for, and they don't even claim, and they don't even try to take that credit. We just assume it onto them. Good marketing. Good marketing. Would we do the install of the oil bypass kit if you got down there and bought it from us? When Lucas gets set up beside us, yeah, Lucas from K2 Diesel, he's getting a shop right beside us on purpose. And bringing a couple of guys, and we're helping him with a couple of our guys and helping him get him set up. That way we can start helping people with in frames and out of frames again and stuff like this. So how's the beekeeping? I don't have any bees right now. I've been in talks with a couple of beekeepers. There's one in particular. I keep bending his arm, trying to get him to get me some. I plan to have bees for too long again. I just want a couple hives. How long do I think? We're hoping to have Lucas set up here within 4 weeks. Do we make gear oil? No. We thought about it, but we're getting out of the differential business. We don't want to do the differentials anymore. We're still doing the transmissions. We're always going to do the transmissions. It's one of our biggest selling items. We have, those brand new units we sell. They're incredibly popular. We have the best warranty in the United States. And we mean it. And so we are coming out within the next couple of weeks with a true 40 weight, full synthetic for transmissions, for our transmissions. We're the best in the USA. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. We're trying to be. We really are. So we're trying to change the entire industry by forcing people to have to change the way they are, or they'll go under. Anyway, guys, my wife is in Hawaii because unfortunately we had someone in the family pass away. I believe the new warranty on the transmissions is 5 years, I think. It's either 3 or 5 years. You have to get a hold of us. Maybe Glade knows. He's in the comment section. Kind of appreciating him here tonight, but my wife had to take off and go at a moment's notice, so I have a couple of my children at home. So 3-year warranty, 5-year if you buy the clutch and the bell housing with it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I double at home, and they're good kids, but I don't know how good they are if they're left alone for too long. So, they are my kids after all. So, I would probably better get going, and get on home and make sure my children are fine. They're home alone. So, by the way, I kind of have a little bit of an announcement. The next show I'll be doing from my boat. I've had a lifelong dream of owning a trawler. When I was a young man, I took a trawler all over Alaska. I probably have more than 4,000 nautical miles under my belt on trawlers. And I always said someday I'd own one. My wife and I bought one in Maryland. I'm going to get it, and I'm going to stream the whole adventure, all 20 days it takes me to bring it down from Maryland, all the way down the East Coast and all the way across to here. I think it's going to take me about 20 days. So I'm going to be filming and sharing that whole thing. I'm not doing the Great Loop. Come on, that's so boring. But the next show will be from the boat. Pretty excited. I'm taking Starlink with me. So I'll see you guys from there. Love you all long time. I won't have a call-in show. I'm just gonna set up, the computer. We'll have Facebook back then. We'll just do in the comment sections like now. You just transport it. You ain't transporting this boat. It weighs 110,000 pounds. It's 52 feet. It ain't happening, man. This is a true long range trawler. This thing could go to Hawaii if I wanted to. So anyway, love you guys long time. Really do. I really appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody always coming here and hanging out with me. You guys have a good night. I will see you next week from the boat. Can't wait.